Imagine waking up one morning to the metallic smell of blood. You are covered in it from head to toe. You walk downstairs and find your mother's brutalized body lying in a pool of crimson. But the most terrifying part? You have absolutely no memory of what happened last night. The Good Son by You-jeong is a chilling psychological thriller that invites us directly into the mind of a killer. The story is narrated by You-jin, a 26-year-old man who seems harmless on the surface. Once a promising swimmer, his life has been dictated by medication to control his epileptic seizures. His mother and aunt manage his life with suffocating control, forcing him to take pills that leave him lethargic and foggy. Resenting this leash, Eugen secretly stops taking his medication to feel alive again. The nightmare begins on a morning after he skips his meds. Eugen wakes up in his room, drenched in blood, with no recollection of the previous night. Following the bloody trail downstairs, he discovers his mother, savagely murdered. At first, he tries to piece together the scenario of an intruder, but every clue he uncovers points back to him. The razor in his pocket, the blood on his clothes, and the returning flashes of memory confirm the unthinkable. He is the murderer. As Eugen frantically cleans the crime scene to hide the truth from the police and his adopted brother Hae-jin, he uncovers his mother's journals. These diaries reveal a shattering truth about his past. Eugen learns that he is not merely epileptic. He is a psychopath, a predator in the truest sense. The tragic accident 16 years ago that killed his father and biological brother was no accident at all. It was Eugen's first act of dominance. The tension explodes as Hae-jin, who has always protected Eugen, begins to suspect the horrifying reality. Eugen realizes that his mother's oppressive control was never about illness. It was a desperate attempt to cage a monster. Now, with the cage open, Eugen sheds his mask of the good son. He feels no guilt, only the thrill of survival and dominance. In a heart-stopping climax, he eliminates the final obstacle, his brother, and embraces his true nature. You-jeong masterfully blurs the line between reader and killer, forcing us to see the world through a predator's eyes. It is a story not just about murder, but about the terrifying awakening of a dormant evil that believes it is simply fulfilling its evolutionary purpose. We have just witnessed the birth of a predator. Now, let's dive deeper into the psychological complexities and the hidden symbolism of this masterpiece using NotebookLM's detailed analysis.
Today, we're diving deep into the chilling psychological thriller, The Good Son by You-jeong. And let me tell you, you're going to want to buckle up for this one, because this book takes us right into the mind of a man who wakes up covered in blood, with absolutely no memory of how it got there. All right, let's just jump straight into the book's opening. It's unforgettable. It's the kind of scene that grabs you from the very first sentence and honestly does not let go. So this is how we meet our protagonist, Han Yoo-jin, with just 5 chilling words. He's a 26-year-old, and he wakes up completely disoriented, his body covered in something sticky and metallic. In this very moment, though of course he doesn't know it yet, his entire world has just been completely shattered.
He gets up and he follows this trail of bloody footprints, his own footprints, down the stairs and into the kitchen. And that's where he finds her. It's his mother, lying dead on the floor. Her throat has been slit. This one single gruesome discovery immediately sets up the terrifying central question for the entire novel.
I mean, the answer seems obvious, right? But here's the twist that drives this whole story. You see, Eugen suffers from seizures, and these seizures cause massive gaps in his memory. He has zero recollection of the night before. This means he honestly doesn't know if he's a grieving son or a cold-blooded killer. And for the rest of the book, neither do we.
So this memory loss immediately makes Eugen what we call a classic unreliable narrator. We are literally trapped inside his head, forced to try and piece together the truth from the fractured perspective of the one person who might have every reason to lie. Or, even scarier, might simply not know the truth himself.
And here you can see the core conflict just laid bare. On one side, you have Eugen's last clear memory, which is something completely normal, totally mundane. But on the other, you've got the undeniable, brutal evidence of the crime scene. His entire journey from this point on is this desperate attempt to bridge the terrifying gap between these two realities. And this, right here, is the crucial point. We're not just questioning his memory, we are questioning his entire perception of what's real. With a line like this, You-jeong himself is basically warning us that he might be creating a story that serves his own purpose, completely regardless of the facts.
Now, to really understand why the story is so deeply unsettling, we've got to look beyond the character for a minute and look at his creator, the author You-jeong. Because as it turns out, her personal mission as a writer is the key to unlocking this entire novel. You see, Jeong sees her work as an exploration of what she calls the dark forest of human nature. She's got this belief that to truly understand humanity, we can't just hang out in the bright fields where everything is good and simple. We have to be willing to venture into the shadows, where our most primal and, let's be honest, uncomfortable instincts live.
So, how in the world do you write authentically from the perspective of a psychopath? Well, for Jang, it wasn't just some exercise in imagination. No, it was a grueling 3-year journey to completely inhabit the mind of her character. It actually took her 3 complete rewrites to get the character's voice just right. Her first draft? Scattered, unfocused. The second one was getting closer, but her own sense of right and wrong kept creeping in, kind of sanitizing the darkness. It was only on that third attempt that she finally did it. She shed her own morality and just committed to telling the story entirely from his point of view.
I mean, think about that. This just shows her incredible dedication. She essentially had to rewire her own brain to think like someone who solves problems in the most direct way possible, completely untethered by ethics or emotion or any concern for other people. And that commitment is exactly what makes You-jeong's voice feel so terrifyingly authentic.
So why? Why would any author put themselves through that? And maybe the more important question is, why should we, as readers, agree to go on this journey into such a dark place? The answer, it turns out, reveals the book's ultimate purpose.
Get this. According to psychological studies that Jang herself has cited, somewhere between 2 and 5% of the world's population are psychopaths. This isn't just some character in a book, it's a stark reminder that these individuals walk among us, often completely unnoticed.
And this brings us to Jeong's ultimate goal. She actually hopes that her novel can act as a kind of preventative vaccine. The idea is that by forcing us to look directly into the abyss of a psychopathic mind, we can get better at recognizing the potential for evil, not just out there in society, but also uncomfortably within ourselves.
And this all leads to the final, really powerful takeaway here. The book is making an argument that exploring the darkness isn't just some kind of morbid curiosity. It's actually essential if we ever want to truly understand the light.
This, right here, is You-jeong's core belief. She knows a single book isn't going to change the world overnight, but by daring to ask why, by forcing us to look at what's really uncomfortable, a story can ignite a conversation. It can be that small fuse that leads to greater understanding and hopefully to real change.
And so, as we wrap this up, the book leaves all of us with a final, very provocative question. After exploring the mind of Han You-jeong, we're kind of forced to turn inward and ask ourselves, what untamed instincts, what primal thoughts lie waiting in our own dark forest?